In today's video, I'll share with you a recipe that I cook quite often. It's called Parmigiana di Melanzane. So it's an eggplant parmesan or a variation of it. As I'm cooking, I will share with you a story about how Bob and I ended up here in central Germany. And I hope you enjoy it. Some of you may know the story and some of you don't. So if you're new here and don't know us, welcome, welcome. And if you like what you see, of course, give us a like. And if you want to see more content from us, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any videos from us. So I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you have any questions, post it in the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from. We're curious to see who actually is watching our videos. And next video we'll take you on a bike ride to what used to be a monastery from 1200s, and it's no longer a monastery now, but the history of the place actually dates back much farther. But more on that in the video after this one. And for now, enjoy the recipe and our story, and we'll talk to you soon. Hello everyone, so today I will be making one of our favorite dishes. It's basically a layered eggplant parmesan. I believe it's called melanzane in Italian. Anyway, we love this dish and I am going to get that ready in a minute, and you can follow me if you like to see how I make it. And but first I have to run out and get baguette because I forgot to get that, and I love to eat it just with a regular baguette. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run out to the store, pick up a baguette. I'll be back in a moment and then we can start cooking.
So, what's for dinner today?
I'm actually gonna make some eggplant parmesan casserole, which is called in Italian melanzane. So if there's any real Italians, please don't judge me. I'm doing the best I can. But you can join me on this video and I'll show you how I make it. We love this dish. The kids, the girls are out in the city and we'll be eating there. So I'm making this because only the two of us eat that dish. And I'm gonna make some fresh baguette to go with it, and then we'll enjoy the balcony and the beautiful weather and have our dinner.
Yes.
Dinner by the time I'm done cooking. So Bob's been busy outside, and while he's cleaning my car, I'm gonna make him a nice meal. So thank you, honey. Hello everyone. So as I mentioned, I want to make a dish that we love to eat. The recipe is not mine. I saw it from this Italian guy on YouTube. Can't tell you what his name is. I've seen some of his recipes. If I find him, I can link it to this video. Anyway, melanzane is basically eggplant parmesan casserole, and I absolutely love it. What we have to do first is we want to slice our eggplant very thinly. I'm using this old but very nice device that I've had for ages. I think my mom actually had it for a long time, and when we moved here to Germany, I took it over because she doesn't really use it. I like to use this because it makes all the slices about the same width, and so it makes it easier to cook. And I like them to be quite thin for this dish. So all you need to do is 2 eggplants, you need olive oil, I have parmesan, I have mozzarella, and I have some tomato sauce. Of course you can use your homemade tomato sauce. I found this one, this is not sponsored, but this is my favorite brand to use, Muti. Either tomatoes, crushed tomatoes with basil, or this pizza sauce is amazing. It's just very well seasoned and works wonders. Anyway, as I'm cooking, I'm gonna start slicing my eggplant when it gets too short, I'm gonna use, of course, this here so I don't cut myself on anything. But I was thinking that while I'm cooking, since this channel is relatively new and you may or may not know us, I want to tell you a little bit about our story. So it's Bob and Mila, and we live here in central Germany. That was the oven beeping because I'm trying to warm it up and prepare it a little bit. So we live here in central Germany, and some of you might be wondering how we ended up here. Bob is an American. I was born in Kazakhstan and during the time of Soviet Union. So my native language is Russian. And I met Bob in the US. I went to the US after I finished high school here in Germany and met him there and lived in the US for almost 10 years. But to back up a little bit, so we moved from Kazakhstan here to Germany in 1995 because I was always German. My ancestors were German, on my dad's side were German, and basically they moved to Russia at some point. It was Katerina II, I believe, because she was offering them free land, and I believe her goal was to bring some German culture to Russia, and so she was providing land for everyone, and that's when the ancestors moved to Russia. And then during World War II, they had to move away from, as far as possible, from the border to Germany. So our ancestors moved from Germany, I should probably mention. So they were moved from the border, or from the place where they were leaving, to Kazakhstan, because it was farther away from the border to Germany. And that's how the families ended up in Kazakhstan. So we moved here in 1995. I had to learn the language. We did have German in school, but my language skills were very limited. So I ended up repeating some classes. I finished 10th grade in Kazakhstan, and then I did 2 years of special classes to learn the language, and then I repeated 10th grade and finished my high school after that here in Germany. And after high school, I went to America as an au pair, and actually ended up staying there. And how that all worked out maybe is a story for another time, but I ended up staying there, and then I met Bob, and we had our oldest daughter, Anna, in America. And after she was born, when she was about 3, we moved here to Germany. I was studying at that time, and I was, we didn't have like a house or anything. We weren't really bound down with anything. Bob had a job, but it wasn't like anything really great. So we decided that that was a good time for us to move to Germany for a while, so that Anna can get to know my family, and Bob too. I mean, my family of course visited us in America, but it was, don't do this. It was too little that we saw of each other. So I wanted them to get to know each other way better, and because of that, we decided to move to Germany while I was still studying. And I was studying in a degree program that is through University of Phoenix, and so I was able to study online. And because I was studying online, it was not a problem to move here and continue my studies. So the plan was to come here for 2 years, and then when I was done with my studies, move back to the States. But things worked out differently when we came here. Bob started his degree, and we ended up staying here way longer. That was in 2010. We have 2025 now, so at some point everything was just working out here for us, and that was mainly the decision why we never moved back, because Bob always had a job here and everything just kind of was working out. And in 2015 we bought this house, and my parents live downstairs, and so I don't know if we'll ever move back to the States. We do love to visit there. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put the eggplant in some cold water. I'm sorry if you can't see me right now. I'm still trying to figure out the camera settings. I'm putting it in salty water to get the bitterness out of it. And after it sits in the salty water for a little bit, we're gonna drain it, and then we're gonna start cooking it in olive oil. So each slice will be nicely cooked in olive oil. And I forgot one ingredient, which is flour, and I'm gonna get that out while it's soaking for a minute. And yeah, so we ended up staying here way longer than planned. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna get the flour. And we stayed there for much longer, but we both have really good jobs. Our kids, go to school here, and I'd say we're quite happy to be here at the moment. We absolutely love exploring Germany, exploring Central Europe, and we love Italy. Actually, we both kind of dream of owning a place in Italy, and that may be a journey that we'll take you on at some point in the future, but for right now, it is a dream that we're working on. But we absolutely love Italy. We go there as often as we can, and we love all the dishes, Italian dishes. Italian kitchen is probably our favorite style of food, Mediterranean kitchen. We like Greek food as well, so anything Mediterranean really works. So I am going to warm up my pot in a little bit. I want to have it on like medium heat, not too hot, but we want to have it so that they brown up quite well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain the eggplant. You can kind of see that the juices are starting to turn brown, and it's getting all that bitterness out of it. So I'm gonna drain that now, and then I'm going to dip each piece of eggplant in flour. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to put it in oil and fry it. So we don't need this anymore, so I'm going to move that away. And we're just going to let that here drain a little bit more. And let me turn on this cooking pan is kind of very special. It has like this red sea inside, so it warms up very quickly, and usually you can tell by the color if it's ready for you to use. But I quite like this pan, and I'm just gonna warm it up. So you can go up to 9 on this. This is an induction oven, cooking top, and I'm gonna have it on 5 because it warms up quite quickly and very hot, so I don't want it to be too hot. I also need a fork, and I need a plate, and I'm gonna put some paper towels on the plate just so the oil can drain a little bit more when we're getting the eggplant out. So I hear somebody just came in. My husband is cleaning my car, so while he's cleaning, I'm gonna cook us a nice meal, and then we're gonna go outside and enjoy our meal on the balcony because it's been beautiful out here. 16 degrees Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, so. Do you know what it is in Fahrenheit today, honey? It's quite warm today.
It is very warm.
16 degrees or so in Celsius. I don't know what that would be in Fahrenheit. But so now
It's
we're
about 61 degrees.
61 degrees. Okay, yeah. So it's very nice for spring. Now we're gonna take each piece and just dip them in flour. And then when my pan is ready, we're gonna fry them, and it goes quite quickly. As I was starting to cook, I kind of told the story a little bit, how, you know, you were from the States and I'm from Kazakhstan, and I moved here, and then we met in the States, and then we came here.
Yeah.
And ended up staying here way longer than planned, but we're happy. I mean, we're exploring a lot of
It was only supposed to be 2 or 3 years.
yeah, but it worked out perfect.
We're going on this summer, this end of June is going to be 15 years.
Yeah, but we stayed here because it worked out so well for us.
Yeah.
So we ended up staying here because we both have quite a real good jobs. We are happy where we are right now. And we have a nice house with a lot of projects that we hope to take you on with us as we work on these projects. We've been here for some time, but you know, if any of you own a house, the projects never end. So we're gonna show you some of our projects on this channel. So if you want to follow us and watch what we're doing here. Tomorrow we're actually planning, tomorrow's gonna be also another beautiful day. And Bob fixed my e-bike. It had a flat tire. After my youngest daughter Isabella took it to school, it's not a problem, but it can happen. But it ended up having a flat tire, so Bob fixed that, and we're planning on going for a bike ride tomorrow. So I hope we can bring you in with us and show you a little bit. We love to explore around Germany. We love riding our e-bikes, and whenever we go on a small or large vacation, we will also, you can tag along. So make sure to subscribe if you like what you see, give us a like, and yeah, just welcome to our community if you like what you see. So we're just gonna fry these. They don't need to get super brown because they're gonna cook in the oven after we layer them with tomato sauce and cheese and Parmesan. We're gonna put them in the oven and cook them until the cheese is all melted, because they're pretty much cooked in the pan, and you can kind of tell they already have a crunchy feel to them when you touch them with a fork, but so they don't have to be like brown in order for you to take them out. They just need a quick cook, and because they're so thinly sliced, which is what I like. I mean, you can have them, of course, thicker. You can cut them by hand. That's absolutely not an issue. I like them nice and thin, and they cook quite quickly then. So we are kind of a family of picky eaters. I eat pretty much anything, almost anything. I don't like liver. And I don't like onions, not really. I mean, cooked onions are okay, but raw onions, not so much. Actually, it wasn't always like that. I met Bob, and Bob doesn't eat any onions, so whenever I would cook, I would try and find other spices to substitute so that the dish tastes like something. And so the onions kind of phase themselves out of my cooking, and nowadays when I cook, I don't really think about it or need it. And I actually noticed lately I even react if there's a lot of onions in a dish. My stomach doesn't do very well with that. Perhaps that's the first implications of older age, but maybe that's what it is. So you just put them in and you turn them around as they're cooking, and you can kind of tell when they're ready because they start to get a little crunchy. And we're gonna cook them all up. It is quite a bit, so I'm probably gonna pause the video, cook them all, and come back to you later. I hope that I'm recording. Okay, I was recording, so like I said, this is all new to me. We decided to start this channel. Maybe actually I should talk about that. We decided to start this channel because we have family in Russia, in Kazakhstan, in Azerbaijan. We have family all over the United States, and we have family here all over in Germany. And not all of them will be able to come and visit us. Some of our family is a little bit older already, or not everybody will be able to come and visit us, but we thought it would be a fun way to share just our life with them and take them along on our beautiful adventures here in Germany. And I thought, why not share? I do cook. I love to cook. I don't cook very often, so Bob and I both work full-time, and I have the luxury of my mom living downstairs. So my mom usually cooks lunches. So when my kids come home from school and I'm in the office, I work at the local university. When I'm in the office, and my mom makes sure that they have a hot lunch. So it is an absolute luxury, and I absolutely appreciate it, of course. And I feel so lucky to have my mom to help me with that and to help me with the kids. She's just absolutely amazing. My dad is also, they're a big help around the house too. Outside we have a lot of bushes, and it's not a big yard by German standards. It's a nice size yard. I think it's 900 quadrat meters or something like that. So we do have quite a bit to do there, and my dad and my mom usually do all the gardening, because for one, I don't have a green thumb, and on the other hand, I also don't have a whole lot of time. My dad still works full time, but he's going to be retiring hopefully soon. I think beginning of next year, and my mom will retire, I think the end of next year. So my parents are quite young still. They will be turning 65 this year. I'm 45, will be 46 soon, and our oldest daughter Anna just turned 18 in February, and Isabella, our youngest daughter, will be turning 14 in May, 4 days before my birthday. So she was my little birthday present. She was born just a few days before my birthday. So that's what's going on. And another member of our family is our dog, Rocky. Rocky! I don't know what he's up to right now. Usually when I'm cooking, he's right here. See, right here am I? I don't know if you can see him on the camera, probably not. But he's right here checking me out. So if a dog starts barking, then you know that's Rocky greeting anyone who's walking past our house. We live sort of like I guess you would compare it to a cul-de-sac. Not a cul-de-sac. It's like a dead-end street. So our house is one of the last houses on the street. So we don't have a whole lot of cars that drive by. Ooh, the flower just went everywhere, but no problem with that. So we don't have a whole lot of cars that drive by, so anytime you hear a car, everybody's like, ooh, somebody's here. But it's also quite nice because it is very quiet on our street. There's no traffic at all, except for the neighbors that live directly here. And we are right by the woods, and we go on walks quite often, and we'll take you with us, of course. We live right by the woods. In 2 minutes I'm in the woods and enjoy nature. I do love walking around. We love to go hiking, and maybe later today we'll take Rocky for a walk and you can tag along. Hey Rocky! So Rocky got a new toy today because he destroys all of his toys. You don't want to play? You want to go outside, huh? Yeah. Yeah, say Daddy, I want to go for a W. We have to say W because if we say the actual word W-A-L-K then he's gonna start going bananas. So we have to make sure that we say W instead.
He's very impatient.
He's very impatient as far as that goes. So another thing I wanted to mention is you're cooking. Of course, the oil gets lower because the eggplant absorbs some of it. So what I have to do is I always add a little bit of oil as I see that it's getting low. And I just realized I was talking over that. So again, as you're cooking, what you want to do is just keep adding a little bit of oil as it gets low because it gets absorbed by the eggplant and all the flour, and so you have to add a little bit in between so that it continues to cook. But it is a little bit of a task that you have to do, you know, to cook this eggplant before you start assembling the dish, but it is absolutely worth it. I love this dish, just fresh baguette. I actually have a baguette that you have to cook in the oven, so I put it in together with the casserole, I guess, and but then we're just gonna have baguette and some melanzane, and that's all there is to it. It's quite a simple dish, but it's very yummy, and yeah, so I just wanted to make sure you add obviously oil, and I already cooked about the half of my eggplant, probably maybe a little bit less than a half. So it is a little bit time consuming because you have to cook them, and I did think once maybe I can cook them in the oven and then it goes quicker and I don't have to stand and cook them in olive oil, and I tried that. So for those of you who maybe had that idea, I did try that, and the consistency of the eggplant was completely different. So it was all right, but it was not the same dish. And you do need to cook them in olive oil and give it that nice toast in the flour. And I think all of that kind of sort of makes the dish quite lovely. So it is a little bit time consuming, but it's worth it, and invite you to try it. It's very simple. By the way, if I do find the original recipe from the guy that we actually first saw this recipe from on YouTube, I'll link it for you, but you won't see him soaking the eggplant in water. I believe he only put some salt on it and let it sit for a little while. But I also watch another channel. It's called Nikki Positano. And I will link her channel in here too if I can. Because I saw her doing that to her eggplant. She would soak that in salty water to get the bitterness out of it, and that's for these so many thin slices to spread them out and salt them would have just been not very practical, so I just soaked them in water with salt. But they're not super salty, and you see that I'm not using any more spices on it, and that's okay because we are gonna layer it with sauce that's nicely seasoned and Parmesan, and Parmesan in itself is quite a salty cheese, so that's why we don't have to worry about adding any extra salt or anything like that, so we don't really need that. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil, and my pile is getting smaller so we should be able to start layering it quite soon. So now all of my eggplant is cooked, as you can see. I have the sauce already open. I only have 1 can of that Mutti pizza sauce here, and I got my cheeses. And now it's quite simple. We start with a little bit of sauce. And then we layer our eggplant. It's nice and soft. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. So you just have to, if you like, even if you don't like eggplant, I suggest you try this one because that might just turn you to someone who does like it. So, and I dab a little bit of sauce on top of them, and then we get a little bit of cheese. And we just spread that. Now between the layers I only use the Parmesan. The mozzarella is just for the top. And then we layer again. The layers are quite thin. My mouth is already watering. Can't wait to eat.
Me neither.
Bob just finished cleaning my car. Thank you, honey. And can't wait to eat. And our girls are in the city, and they were gonna eat there. They were gonna do a little bit of shopping, and I don't know. Have you heard from them actually?
No, I'm gonna go call them here in a second.
Yeah, go call because we do probably have to pick them up.
Yeah.
So maybe you can pick them up soon, so that when the food is done, you can come home and you can eat.
Yeah.
All right. So, and you just keep repeating, just layering with sauce. And I don't put too much sauce because the eggplant is already soft and kind of drenched in olive oil. And so it's not going to be dry. It's going to be nice. And that was the problem. The one time that I tried to do this in the oven, so cook the eggplant in the oven in advance and then instead of cooking it in the oil, and it was just very dry. It does need that bit of oil to make it nice and soft for this dish. And you can try it and see it for yourself, but I didn't like it. Cooking it in the oven just doesn't give it the same texture. So, and just some more Parmesan. So I just finished the last layer, and I'm gonna add a little bit of sauce on top. I actually had an open can in the refrigerator, which was nice, so I could just use most of that up. And so this is the same pizza sauce that I used before. We just had it in a different container because we opened it, and this one is nice to close. And now it's all done. So you can put a little bit more sauce on top. So I'm gonna use up the rest of this cheese, the Parmesan cheese. Not a whole lot left, but it's good. And now we're gonna put some nice amount of mozzarella on top, so it's nice and gooey and cheesy on top. And it's absolutely lovely. So And now it can go in the oven. It probably take about 7 to 10 minutes. I have my oven at 200 degrees, and I'm gonna put it together with a baguette so they can both cook at the same time while I'm cleaning up the dishes, and then the dish is gonna be done. And we're the baguette and the melanzane in the oven, and in about 10 minutes we should be able to eat. So here it is. The baguette is all done and nice and brown, and the cheese is all bubbly. It's still sizzling. So we're gonna eat in a few minutes and go outside on the balcony and enjoy ourselves. So here we are, ready to eat. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Why don't you go get yourself some? So as you can see, the top is nice and crunchy, but inside it's nice and gooey and soft. And we're just gonna break off the baguette and put it right on there.